Rock Salt MUZKAST Experience. Aaron, Dave, just ourselves today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I thought Jermaine was going to be on because he said, Autumn Eve, she's my people.
From Tricord?
Yes. Yeah.
I love Jermaine.
Yeah. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's the problem.
Yes.
That's why we can't get him on the show enough. Everybody loves Jermaine.
Yeah.
You know, that should be a sitcom. That should be a sitcom.
Everybody loves Jermaine.
Everybody loves Jermaine.
Oh, that would be an amazing heavy metal comedy. I just know it.
with lots of home renovations involved.
Yes.
Every time he jumps on, he's like working around the house. We gotta get this bathroom done. So today we have from Dallas, Texas, Autumn Eve.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah. Are you a Cowboy fan? Just to get that out of the way.
Oh my goodness.
Are you-
No,
you
I
don't-
am
you don't-
not.
Ah.
Something
that's
really
okay.
funny about me is I just am not really into sports. I do not really keep up with the news very much. I don't even own a TV anymore.
They're overrated.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get it on your phone now. You don't need a TV. So how long you been in making music and because your songs, you have 2 out right now, and your songs sound very polished and like you've been doing this a while. Have you been at it a long time?
I have. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I've been writing songs since I was 4 years old. So just as a kid, I couldn't stop singing and improvising around the house. And I tell this story sometimes, but my mom had one of those old VHS tape recorders, and she would be filming downstairs on the baby monitor while I'm upstairs singing about elephants and flowers and just singing to God about people and anything a child would sing about. And I would just be in my room just singing. So yeah, I've been doing music a very, very long time.
Do you remember any of the songs from 4 years old?
Mm-hmm. I do. Just like
You
thank you
might-
God for the elephants and the people. And that's as far as it's gonna go. We're gonna
Okay.
stop the
Okay.
buck right there. But
you like elephants? Are you like,
sure, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a huge nature person.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
said, I don't have a TV. I'm always outside and in nature constantly. So
thus Autumn Eve, the very nature name, right?
Yeah.
yes. Yes. I love the woods. I love the ocean so much. If I could live at the beach, that would be incredible.
Well, you have the Gulf down there, right? I mean, I'm trying to think of.
Yes.
Okay, so how far are you from the Gulf?
It's about 6 hours to drive to Corpus, and I do it pretty often, honestly.
Oh, really?
And it's one of the most satisfying things because all you have to do once you're in Corpus is you can literally drive up to the beach, and then I just drive on the sand in my tiny pink car. I have a pink car. It's really funny, but it's great on gas mileage.
Hey, that's what's important. It looks like it might be a mini.
It's pretty small, but it does seat 4 people, and there
All
is a trunk somehow.
All right. So you're kind of, the reason I ask is because I grew up in Sacramento, California. So we got the ocean's right there, skiing's right there, everything's right there. And I moved to Colorado, and I started talking to people that had never been to the ocean, and it blew my mind.
Right?
That somebody was telling me, oh, I would just love to dip my toes in the Pacific Ocean. I'm like, what? You never have?
You should. You need to right
Yeah.
now. Go.
So I guess we took it for granted living out here that, it's all right at our fingertips. If you want to go to the ocean, you go to the ocean. You want to go to the river, you want to go to the lake, you want to go skiing, it's all right there. That's what's great about Sacramento. I'm not knocking Dallas, but that's what's great about Sacramento. Everything's within 2 hours.
Oh man,
Now,
I love California. I've thought about moving there.
Oh, don't.
I'm definitely. I'm hoping.
You don't want to.
Okay.
No. You don't want that.
No.
I definitely am gonna visit Pacifica hopefully this year. I just want to see the tide pools. I want to just drive around the coast. And in California, they have this magical thing that we don't have in Texas called hills, because everything is so flat in Texas.
Right. Well, have you been to California before?
I was in San Diego just for a very short period of time, and my friend's friend picked me up from the airport and took me around. It was amazing. It was really late at night. It was such a fun adventure. We went to see the sea lions, and I made a mixtape with them on the beach, and then
Yeah, it sounds
and then we got to go
magical,
to some
Aaron.
like
It does. I'm not
some
even making a
midnight
joke.
coffee shops. And this is so random. Totally random story, but yeah, I had a layover, so I'm in San Diego overnight. We go to this coffee shop, and there's this guy, and he just stares at me, glaring, and you could just feel this darkness, right? And I love people, I love everybody. I'm not like super religious or anything, but he was wearing a satanic star, and I just found it so interesting that he like stopped in his tracks and was just glaring at me. Because I definitely want to bring God's love into places. I really care about, leaving people better than I found them, even if it's a cashier, even if it's your waiter. Shout out to all the servers. I'm a server too. But yeah, I just found it so interesting that he could feel God's presence that I was carrying in that coffee shop, and he just started to like back out and leave through the back door. And I was like, interesting. Okay, I hope he's having a good day. I hope he can feel God's love. I'm gonna get me a cappuccino. So
Priorities,
Yes.
Well, what I
Jesus
found.
and coffee.
That's the next single.
Yeah,
Jesus and coffee.
handed down from God Himself.
Yes.
Absolutely.
First of all, Pacifica, you love Pacifica. It's really cool. We were just out there about a month ago. We went crabbing off the pier, and it's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
And it's a little chilly. Even in the middle of summer, you're gonna end up wearing a hoodie, but it's not like a San Diego beach where it's sun and warm. It's I don't want to say gloomy, but it's cloudy and cold a lot. It's
Good to know.
yeah, it's like Seattle weather.
Okay.
Well, as far as the Bay Area goes, would you agree, Aaron?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very nice. I mean, the sun does appear. We've been out there. The sun does appear, but usually in the morning, as you described it, the clouds come in, the fog comes in, and then it burns off a little bit, then reappears in the evening.
Yeah, I mean, like high temperature in the middle of summer for Pacifica, they're sweating when it gets to 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Good to know. I would not have actually thought about that.
Yeah,
so
but,
I'm glad you told me.
But you'll be excited. There's like very low humidity out there.
Yes. Yes.
I've been in Texas
Wow.
with the humidity, and it ain't fun.
Yeah.
So
Nice trail to
Oh
walk
man,
through.
especially in Corpus.
yeah, I was in San Antonio, and I wasn't prepared for it. And I walked out of the office. I was there for a meeting for work, and I walked out of the office, and it slapped me in the face like a wall. It was like, what just happened?
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so my advice, yes, please come visit. It's a great state to visit, but you don't want to live here. Anyhow, so
yes.
So you are working on an album that you're releasing a single at a time. What's the name of the album now?
Yes. The name of the album is Rival Dreams.
And does that have some significance? I mean, what's the meaning of Rival Dreams?
Definitely. So Rival Dreams has everything to do with overcoming your fears and overcoming the setbacks that come from life, circumstances, your family, your upbringing, and choosing to be the change, choosing to be the difference. So if you had a really rough childhood like I did, you kind of have two choices, and you can call that black and white thinking if you want, but your two choices are, okay, I'm going to become the darkness that I'm surrounded by from my experience, or I'm going to choose to become the light, and I'm going to fight the darkness by being the difference. If you experienced abuse, if you experienced neglect, or just really rough circumstances, you can become like that very easily. It's very easy to become jaded or to be bogged down with depression and stay in that state. Or you can say, well, that sucks. I'm going to go ahead and be the change and be the light. And I'm going to start loving people the way that I never received love before, because they need it just as much as I do. And I'm going to go on a different path and pioneer, even if nobody goes with me. And if no one else is going to love me, I have to learn to love myself. And I'm just going to find that with God. And I'm going to be the change. So that's what it means to be a rival dreamer.
Okay. And so far you've got 2 singles off of it, right? Now,
Yes.
When I found you on Facebook, I know that you were brought to us by David Bean, but when I found you on Facebook and I sent you a message, I think I commented on something. You had only had 1 song at that point, and I went, wow, this is really good. So what is the plan to release the rest of the singles? I mean, like, do you have a timeline for it?
Thank you. I really appreciate the support. Honestly, I would have released the album 5 years ago if I could have. I like to move really fast. I love to go, 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 especially with my dreams, like music. But music is very expensive, and I just have a lot of different bills and things I'm working through financially. So just paying through every song one at a time so I can present those to you guys and release them to the world. And so I have the 3rd song I'm doing vocals for in 2 weeks from now. I'm going to Nashville, and I'm so excited to be working with Josiah and Andrew from the band Disciple.
Right.
So we're getting in the studio at the ranch and putting down some vocals for song number 3. So hopefully that one will be out before this summer. So we have another song coming out.
And lots of people work with Josiah. He seems to have the magic touch.
Yeah, Matt works with him. Matt Sassano.
Matt Sassano, yeah.
Works with him.
Well, I mean,
I love Matt Sassano.
Isn't he a great guy?
Yes.
Speaking of people who are just nice and complimentary and all that, we saw him at a show. We were all having a discussion, and there was like this 9-year-old kid that was just enamored with Matt. And me personally, I'm not a kid person, so I don't hate kids. I can't connect. And that's where I would have been. That's where I would have been like, yeah, very nice to meet you. And I moved on. But Matt he stopped talking to us, gave this kid all the time, which I didn't care about. I just, but the kid wanted his attention, and Matt just like, hey, hang on, guys. And, so he's an awesome guy. Your songs, like I said, they sound very polished, and I hope this doesn't come out the wrong way, but are you writing and recording those all yourself? Do you have a band? Do you have a team of writers? Do you have people helping you produce it? I mean, is this a one-woman show, or are there lots of people involved?
Oh, yes. Oh, man. Thank you so much. I really care about quality when it comes to recordings. So I will tell you all of my secrets so this can help other musicians.
Get your pen out, Aaron.
So I know, right? I wish someone would have told me this. So here you go if you're a musician listening. So my secret is, I've been writing songs my entire life, and then I can play all the cowboy chords on guitar myself. So I sit down and I find maybe 4 chords that I think are working very well for the song or the lyrics I've written. And then I go to my band. I have a wonderful performing band that we tour together. And I'm like, hey guys, here's this, simplified idea of a song. Now, can we make it heavy? Can we make it metalcore? Can we make it sound like Breaking Benjamin? Can we make it sound like Red? What kind of elements can we add into this to kind of help it become 3D or multifaceted? So then I start writing with them a little bit, getting some ideas. They might come up with something really catchy for a guitar part. So, and then I will take it to a producer and sit down with them and be like, hey, can we refine it a second time? So it just is in a process of refinement over and over again. And for the song Courageous, that was an instrumental that was actually given to me. So for that one, it's a different process. For Blood, Sweat, and Tears, I actually got to sit down with two people and we were writing together. So that was born in a single day, that song, which is pretty rare for me. But yeah, long story short, my process is I have a hook in my head. I'll play it to 4 chords, take it to my band, refine it. Then I'll take it to a producer, refine it a second time, and then boom, you have an amazing single. You have an incredible song.
Do you find that collaborating with these different people, like you just explained, helps you or hinders you?
So for the most part, it is such an honor to be able to work with my band and with these producers because they are really able to bring my sound to life in ways that I do not have the experience, but I have the imagination for. So a lot of times I just want to give so much credit to these people who are like, yeah, I'm like, I know what direction you're going for. And then they have the skills, like the production skills. They're like, okay, what if the song went over here in this direction? And I'm like, wow, I really like that. But I think my favorite thing about working with people, specifically with Andrew Stanton, is I'm on a Zoom call with Andrew and we're putting together the refining process for the guitar parts. And I'm humming something. I'm like, hey, can you do this? Or whatever. And he's like, oh, you mean this? He just does it instantly on the fly because he's so talented. And I'm like, quick, record it. He's like, okay. And then he'll just play it. I'm like, good, we captured it. We didn't lose it. We didn't forget. So it's really incredible for me because primarily my main gift is vocals and composing. So I just simply hum something and then the way talented guitarists, they capture it. And that is really one of my favorite parts of writing with other people.
You know, I find it really interesting the process that a song goes through and how people write them and that sort of thing. And because for me, like I done radio and now clearly I'm doing podcasting. So it's always, it's kind of the same, but it's totally different because I'm just driving around. I'll think of things and then, like you said, record it. Most of the time I don't. And I go, oh, what was that thing? It was, oh, well, it's in the past. It's gone. But
yes,
what are you going to do? You know, it's gone. But at the same time, like if I do think of something that I think is pretty good, I'll come to Aaron or I'll go to Patrick and I go, what do you guys think of this? And they'll put their spin on it. And sometimes it gets better. Sometimes it was just garbage from the get-go. It was just funny to me.
For better or worse, right?
Yeah, it was just funny to me. So that makes me wonder, do you get input, say, from one of your bandmates, like you just explained, and you're not feeling it, but everybody else is like, wow, that's really good. Do you have those moments?
Not very often. We all are very picky when it comes to writing, composition, tone, effects. So we all are kind of the same mind. We're like, ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And then other times we're all like, not really feeling this. It's pretty mutual. The only time is just for the music video that we put together. Sometimes as I was working closely with my guitarist, Ben, he would be editing and we're sitting down at the laptop and he's like, oh, look at this. And I'm like, I don't know. I look kind of herp derp on that shot. He's like, no, it's cool. I'm like, okay, fine, cool. We'll keep it.
Yeah.
But I'm very picky when it comes to leading these songs and even with like working with Andrew, which has been so amazing. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Can we try this? And then we both are like, ooh, that one is even cooler that we come up with. So
Right.
it's great.
Right. And, I would guess that it's a little more complex trying to put together a song and record it than it is, sitting here talking and throwing out, whatever
Ideas.
comes into my mind.
Yeah.
But
Hey, we're going to take a
Yeah,
break
I'm
here and play
sorry.
one of the songs, but we're going to play Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And congratulations, it just made the top 25 on Christian Music Weekly. And so
Wow.
it's climbing
Yes,
up the
thank
charts.
you.
Yes. And so we're looking, we did talk about Matt and how good of a guy he is. And he probably wouldn't mind that you would overtake him at number 1, and he slipped down to number 2. So we're hoping for some good things of that. And Matt, if you're listening, we're just joking.
Thank you.
But it's great that your top 25 is getting radio play and all that. Can you explain that song, Blood, Sweat, and Tears?
let's do that when we come back.
Okay.
Explain the song when we come back. Let's
Okay.
do the song here, and then we'll come back for that. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Fantastic.
It's Autumn Eve on the Rock Salt MUZKAST Experience.
Rock Salt MUZKAST Experience. Aaron and Dave and Autumn Eve. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So you had a question, Aaron.
Well, I just said, what's the song about? Where, explain the song. That's what I said.
Yeah, absolutely. So the song is kind of telling a story about someone who is confused in an abusive relationship. A lot of times, an abusive relationship is similar to a frog that is in a frying pan full of water. And, whenever you're trying to boil water, it doesn't just instantly boil as soon as you turn on the stove, but it's a slow progression where the water is kind of getting warmer and warmer and warmer. And so that metaphor is pretty close to my heart from my own experiences in life and relationships that were just slowly becoming darker and darker. So in the first verse, I'm asking a lot of questions like, does it ever get better? So a lot of times when you're in constant conflict with a romantic partner, you're kind of like realizing, hey, like, we can't really find stability. We can't really find solid ground. Is it ever going to get better? Is it always going to be like this? And so I just wanted to put some very personal questions in this song in the beginning, because it's so relatable if you're in that place of confusion. Where there might be gaslighting going on, there might be emotional abuse, or someone constantly putting you down or shaming you or telling you, stop interrupting, or why do you always do that? And, you're just constantly getting smaller and smaller, and the water is changing, going hotter and hotter, hotter. So, the whole gist of the song is kind of starting in that place. And then in the chorus, finally, you get a little bit of empowerment where you're saying, you know what, there is not anything left for us. Like, I get to decide if I want to break this off. I get to decide if I want to stay. I get to decide what's best for me. And it's really about just finding your inner strength with God or with yourself to decide, you know what, I don't need to fix you. I don't need to heal you. I am not your mom. I am not your parent. I am not your therapist. I am not your savior. I don't need to heal your insecurities. I'm not going to be your emotional punching bag or physical either. So it's really about overcoming narcissistic abuse and building your life apart from that person, breaking free, and overcoming.
This is interesting, and this is where I'm going to go a little off the rails, but it's on the same topic. I have I guess, a philosophy or just a way I live my life now, which is, and this is going to sound really bad, but it's not that way. It's either you're with me or you're not, and I don't see a whole lot of reason to spend time on people that are not with me. So I cut them. I cut them out. And I didn't used to do that. I used to keep everybody around and give 130 something chances and, and kind of just go, well, that's, kind of how they are. And you just got to accept people how they are. But I got to a point in my life where it was like, this is not benefiting me. And I'm not saying that I don't give chances. I absolutely give chances. But there's a point where I just got to cut it off. And, the things pick up that way. You know what I mean? You start to feel better about yourself when you eliminate a lot of the negative energy that surrounds you. That's kind of what I took out of that. Am I right? Are we jiving on this thing?
Yeah, 100%. I've come so far in my personal growth and just my journey with God, and it's come to a point where I'm constantly encouraging other people, like, hey, set some boundaries with your parents. Your parents are putting you down constantly, and that breaks my heart as your friend. Or, you know, I'm encouraging other women who are in really dark relationships where um this person keeps hurting them over and over and over again, like this broken record. And I'm encouraging them, like, hey, you are worthy of love, and you deserve to be treated with respect, and you deserve to have safety in your relationship. Have you thought about creating some distance? Have you thought about actually breaking up with this person so you can actually have mental health, so you can have a homeostasis for yourself? Because you're constantly being put down, you're on edge, and you're fading away. I don't want to see you lose yourself. And so yeah, definitely I do believe that sometimes you do have to cut that person out to save your own life.
Yeah, I watched a body cam footage yesterday. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. It's funny, but it's not funny at the same time. Where a cop, an acorn fell on his squad car, and he thought it was shots fired, so he just fell and emptied his clip. But the other part of the body cam footage that they released was talking to the suspect's girlfriend, because the suspect had stolen her car. And the girlfriend tells the cop that he's abusive, and they've been together for 3 years, and he's been abusive. And you got me yelling at the TV going, why did you give him 3 years? I give, when it comes to abuse, I give one opportunity. Okay, you screwed up. Don't do it again. We're going to have problems next time. And I think if you set, the boundaries and the guidelines, like, look, I understand you got heated. You did something that was totally out of your character. I'm not supporting it in any way. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I see a lot on social media of people saying, oh, well, there's this problem in my relationship. And then you'll see 100 comments of people going, oh, you need to get out of that. You need to run away. You need to do all. And I'm like, whoa. You can't just throw everything out. Let's figure out what the problem is. Can we solve the problem? Can we move on from it? And, and if not, then you need to part ways. But maybe you speak to the other person. You go, and I'm having this problem. This is what's causing it. I want to work together with you on it. And, I'm sure I got my faults as well. So let's air things out. And I found my relationships become much better when I have just flat out told people the honest truth about, you know what, if you're going to do this, that's not going to work for me, and I'm just going to have to move on. So now the ball's in your court. If you want to compromise and make this work, we can make it work. But I can tell you that, there's certain parts of me that are just never going to change. Even if I've tried, there's just certain parts that people can't change. They just are who they are. And you got to find the person that fits with that. Now, abusing people is not one of those things that you can't change. You absolutely can. So I'm not saying that in it. But what I'm getting at is I think watch for yourself first. Surround yourself with the right people. And if someone looks like the right person, but they're actually harming you mentally, physically, whatever, it's okay to cut that person. And it can be hard, it can hurt, it could be something you don't want to do, but sometimes you got to do those things to, take you to the next level.
I could not agree more with everything you just said.
See?
Yes, absolutely.
Score.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting, the Bible says to forgive 70 times 7, right?
Right.
But it doesn't say allow that person to like hit your other cheek 70 times 7. Like, oh
Right.
my goodness. And that's what we think forgiveness is in the church, is like allowing that person the same space into our life to continue hurting us in the name of mercy, or in the name of friendship, or the name of marriage, whatever. And yeah, I think it's really cool how you said, like, we extend grace and we just don't allow that person to keep hurting us over and over and over again. And statistically, a woman will leave a abusive relationship 5 times before she officially ends it for
Wow.
good.
5 times?
There's so many tactics. It takes about approximately 5 times, statistically speaking, for a woman to officially leave. Because unfortunately, there's such a cycle of abuse where there's the honeymoon period where, that partner is like buying you flowers and like, I'll never do it again. They're crying and they're telling you, I'm going to change and this is for me. It's not even for you. And, then there's that tension period where, you're starting to walk on eggshells with them again. They're kind of on edge. And then there's that eruption, that explosion where there's that really destructive behavior, and it just keeps going and going. And sometimes it's very subtle. So I extend so much grace to people who they, like you said, maybe they've been in it for 3 years and it can be so hard to get out of sometimes. So
I totally get it.
So yeah, if that is you, if that is you, please message me. My DMs are open. If you just need a safe ear, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm here to listen. I'm here to support you and your mental health. So just message me if you are like, I don't really know if I'm experiencing this, but something is really off. I need someone to talk to. Yeah, just please message me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna focus on women right here, although it goes both ways. But I'm gonna focus on women because women talk to each other more than guys do about those sort of things. And however you're talking to your girlfriends about the problems you're having with your man is how you should be talking to your man about the problems that you're having. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they'll open up to their friends about all their problems, but they're excluding the one they really should be talking to.
Yeah, it's very good to go to the person directly. Sometimes they'll erupt and use it against you and you're not even heard. So I think it's really important, like you said, go to your partner directly who you're in conflict with, and then also go to a safe friend too. I think both are very important.
Yeah, you want a friend that's supportive of the right decision. Now, the right decision may not be staying with this person, but you don't want the friend that was like, oh, screw that guy. There's a million other guys out there. You don't need that guy. You know what I mean? That's just gonna. It's not good. That's the runaway thing, and in my opinion, cowards run away. People, strong people stand up and pave the way. And it's tough to be strong sometimes when you're in those situations, but when you come out on the other side, you can go, I did it. I fixed my life, or, fix that part of my life, or, whatever. But it gives you a little bit of confidence, I think, is what I'm getting at.
Well, I think if you just keep running, you'll have the same problems time and time
over
again.
and over and over again.
Yeah, and the person you really need to fix yourself. Knowing who you are, your worth, and that's where your life and faith and being a Christian, knowing that God loves you no matter what, that He's there for you, that you are a child of God and you are worthy. That's where that comes in, and that growth. Like, if I'm in this relationship and someone's not treating me correctly, I need to move on. because I'm more worthy than this behavior that is being expressed towards me. And getting a good foundation, finding a good church and a good foundation of knowing your worth and who you are is so important in these relationships, and knowing that God has someone there for you, and God does not want you to be alone, but He wants you to be with a very positive and uplifting relationship.
By the way, I also don't subscribe to the "I don't need no man and I don't need no woman"
Yes.
thing, but that's a conversation for another day.
That would be it.
Yeah, I told you.
Man.
I told you, Autumn, the conversation go anywhere. So I'm gonna
I
bring,
love it. No,
I'm
it's
gonna-
all wonderful.
I'm gonna bring it back to music. Now
Yeah.
you got a little bit of what I call techno style in your music. Am I describing it correctly? You just kind of looked at me. I don't know. I'm old school like that.
Maybe. Okay, so compared to old school rock, I could see how I have a couple modern elements that are definitely more poppy.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking more pop. Sorry to cut you off. I wasn't thinking more pop. I was just thinking more. I'm trying to think of like, you don't sound like Cell Dweller, and I'm sure you don't know who they are, but they're kind of this they're like, they mix dubstep with rock type of thing, and that's
okay.
that's kind of what I'm talking about. So
Yeah, so
that
I
vibe
will
off
share
drums.
with you. Yes. So what I'm doing for the album as far as the sound is, I have such a love for different kinds of rock, right? We have like the old school rock, we have new metal, we have prog rock, metalcore, we have a little bit of symphonic metal. So I want every song to be hinting towards a different genre, but they all still go together cohesively. So for instance, Blood, Sweat, and Tears definitely has a little bit more of a modern radio sound, especially with that little techno intro in the beginning. So, that's going to be my modern rock song. And then Courageous is a little bit more prog rock, metalcore. And then this next one that I'm releasing in the spring, hopefully, you'll just have to wait and see what kind of flavor it has for its own sound.
Okay. Well, what kind of influences? I mean, I see you wearing a Def Leppard shirt. I got my Guns N' Roses shirt on today. I mean, are you into the hair bands? Are you into the hair bands?
I didn't grow up listening to rock music. I wasn't allowed to, which is so funny because here we are. But I do love 80s rock. I love Van Halen, Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard, Kansas, all of it. I listen to that from time to time. And but my main influences are Red and Breaking Benjamin and Flyleaf. Those are my top three influences for sure.
Oh, another Lacey Sturm fan.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
out
I
there.
saw Breaking Benjamin, I don't know, a few months ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've seen them quite a few times. I've never bought a ticket to a Breaking Benjamin show. They're just always at the show that I'm going to. So, and that happened with
nice.
that happened to me with the Scorpions too, by the way. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, you're fine. I also listen to a lot of hardcore music. Shout out to Gratitude, Texas. I love them. Christcore. I listen to O Sleeper, Silent Planet, all the screamo bands. I love it. Absolutely love it.
I've heard of Silent Planet. I haven't heard of the other bands.
So Convictions, a little bit of them too. And
so what's so fun is I actually had not listened to Convictions until my friend was like, hey, the singer, he actually teaches hardcore vocal lessons. I said, yeah, I've been looking for a hardcore vocal coach. So I got to have my first lesson with Mike from Convictions, and I started listening to them. I'm like, oh, I love their sound. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I started listening to Convictions recently and had my first voice lesson with him.
Oh, awesome.
That's great.
You know, you mentioned voice lesson. I saw something, and I didn't realize this. A lot of people don't realize it, that just about everybody that's up on stage belting it out has been through some sort of lesson to teach them how to breathe and sing and all that and carry the notes and all of that, which, you know, that's not something you hear about in, you know, rock bands. You think everybody just like jumps up there and does their thing, and there's a lot of prep that goes into jumping up there. I mean, I went to see Marky Ramone last night, and the band, there were three bands. The band that was on second, you know, I mean, it's Marky Ramone, so it's going to be a punk show. But the band that was on second, they were like a big polished band, but I didn't think they were that great. The opening band, though, that was just a bunch of guys that, you know, are squeezing by. You know what I mean? Like you said earlier, making music's expensive. So they were great. They were awesome. And, of course, Marky Ramone, you know, that was awesome to see him play. But I forget where I was going with all this, but it doesn't always necessarily have to be the big polished one that's the better band or the better music. And I think a lot of people, well, not so much anymore, you know, with all our different avenues for music now, but, you know, back in the day, you were either a rock fan or you were a country fan or you're a hip hop fan. You didn't cross all these genres. And if it was, you know, if you're a rock fan and it wasn't, you know, it was Van Halen, but there's this little band out of, you know, Berkeley called Green Day that I've never heard of. Well, I'm going for Van Halen. You know what I mean? And I think that's changed in a good way. But also, I think it kind of, I mean, it gives everybody an opportunity to open their minds to different kinds of music, which I think is good. But do you ever think that it's becoming a watered down because there's so many now? You know what I mean? And we don't listen to the radio for who's big. Look, we already know Taylor Swift. All right, who cares? But, you know, there's bands like we were talking about, Saving Jackie, Tricord, Convictions, Reborn, Autumn Eve. I mean, all these bands that you have your following, but, you know, the Taylor Swift fan hasn't heard of you. Do you think that hinders you at all, or do you think that's you know, it's just there's enough room for everybody?
So as far as it hindering, I think the number one thing that we need as an independent artist, as a small business owner, anyone with a vision, you just need marketing. That's it. Period. End of story. I don't care what you're selling. I don't care what you do, musician or not. You just need good marketing.
That's it,
so,
Aaron.
like,
that's been our problem.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes.
That's everyone's problem.
Yeah, we got to get a marketing person.
Yeah, that's not 50 years old like we are.
Honestly, there's so much changing with AI, with SEO, with Google Ads and everything. And I definitely don't understand it. I'm very old school. Like I said, I don't even have a TV. So I have people who help me, you know. Shout out to Ben, my guitarist. But
now you said you didn't grow up listening to hard rock music, and now here you are performing it. When's the first time you heard, like, you know, you're like, what is this? And where can I get some more?
Yes, I share this a lot, and I'm happy to share it again. But I'll never forget this day. I was about 6 or 7 years old, and we had this giant boom box that was in my brother's room, and we never listened to the radio. We were a very sheltered, religious, cold family. And yeah, I remember the radio was playing, and I thought that was odd. So I walk into my brother's room, and Creed is on the radio, you know, singing hold me now, I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking, you know, like, so passionately. And my whole world stood still. I mean, was taking in that beautiful sound of all the diminished chords and the angst and the if you know, you know. So I'll never forget when that song was playing on the radio, and then all of a sudden my mom walked in the room and she said, "Young lady, you turn that off right now." So sad. She was like, "No, ma'am, no, ma'am, we do not listen to that in this house." And I was like, "Just you wait, Mom. I'm gonna rise from the ashes. I'm gonna be like a freaking rock star one day." This is the only music I'm gonna do forever, Mom. Like, of course, there was just that burning in my chest. There was no language for it, but I just was so marked by Creed from that one moment of the song accidentally playing on the radio.
All right. Autumn, I definitely have to have you come back to have a Creed discussion with me. And I don't mean this in a derogatory or mean way or anything. I never understood the obsession with Creed. People love Creed and I don't get it. And,
that's okay. That's okay.
And I would love to have that Creed discussion with you to find out why someone loves Creed. But
yes,
I just remember when I was in 5th grade, I went over to my friend's house, James Speckman, and they had moved here from Detroit, Michigan. And all of a sudden, he started playing some music, and it was rap music. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? And where can I get some more? You know, and again, you know me, Dave, I'm a rocker, but it was really, listening to Christian music, and there was Petra out there. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden there was these guys, and they were dressed in spandex, black and yellow, and Striper. And I was like, wow. And then, I started listening to, Motley Crue and other things too that were a part of that genre.
So Striper was your gateway drug.
Yes, that's it.
Hallelujah.
Yes. But I think as everybody, you listen, you may grew up on Southern kind of music, and you hear something else, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Can I get some more of this?
My son's 28, be 29 this year, but early on when I was trying to introduce him to music, because I'm not a sports guy or anything, music is that's my thing. So, anyways, he was a rocker because Dad's a rocker, but I also explained to him, I'm like, you can't pigeonhole yourself to one genre. You listen to some country, listen to some classical, listen to a little bit of some jazz. I mean, it may not be what you rock at. I like jazz, but I mean, I don't turn it on in the car. But if I'm at a club and they're playing jazz, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of into this. So, keep an open mind. And it is so cool. And it happens less and less now that we have Spotify and iTunes and all that you're really like, I bring up Cell Dweller again. I came across Cell Dweller and I was like, finally, I found one. This is the sound I was kind of looking for. But that happens so rarely nowadays because it's all at your fingertips. And I think with it being at your fingertips, there's the people out there that are listening to all kinds of different stuff. And then there's the people that, like Swifties, that are only listening to their artist or their genre. You know what I mean? And I think you got to step outside the box.
Yes, and that reminds me of something that you were kind of sharing earlier. And you were saying, is it getting watered down whenever artists are releasing a song that sounds a kind of like rock, and then this next one has more of a folk sound? Where are they going? And so I definitely agree with you that it's so good to listen to hip hop, rap, rock, symphonic music, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Let's go. To really be able to appreciate the different just all the varieties of music that God has created, and gained so much inspiration. And a lot of artists, especially in the rock genre, I think they get a lot of hate whenever they release something softer, or when they release a song that's more pop, or that's
Metallica's
a little bit
Black
different.
Album.
Yeah. They're
And all the fans
sellouts.
kind of freak out and they're all like, oh no, like, they've lost it or whatever. But I think a lot of times, especially for independent artists, where maybe they haven't really blown up big yet, maybe they don't have a ton of money on the line as far as like their career goes. A lot of times for independent artists, they're just in a place of discovery, or they are multifaceted. They're like, yeah, this album's going to be more pop, or this album's going to be a lot more Americana, folk, softer, acoustic, whatever. And I think it's really cool to just allow the artist to say, hey, this is my new expression, or I am in self-development and I've found my sound even more. Like even Lauren Daigle, she said with her most latest album that she has finally found the genre that she freaking loves and just wants to do for the rest of her life. And, of course, that wasn't the case with her first album when she debuted. It was a lot more worship and pop. So I think we kind of marinate over time. And I wouldn't say that it gets diluted unless the artist is just trying to make a ton of money and try to get their songs in every shopping mall and, playing at Kroger and Walmart everywhere. A lot of times they're like, yeah, this is just my new expression that I wanted to put together for this album. So I give them a break.
Well, that's one of the reasons I always liked the 77s. I don't know if you know who the 77s are, but well, you need to check out the 77s. They've been around.
Okay.
They've been around.
Heard.
But every album is completely different from the last album. It still sounds like the 77s, but if you liked, I don't know, I'm looking at my wall where I have 77's albums hanging on the wall. So if you like their first album, which is Ping Pong Over the Abyss, it's a little more raw, just straight rock type of early 80s new wave, that sort of thing. But if you listen to the second album, you probably wouldn't even know it was the same band if you weren't a fan, because it was way more new wave. Lots of synthesizers, that sort of thing. And the next album was different from that. And the next one was. And what's nice about that, though, is like they've got a large library of albums now. I don't like that one, but I like that one and I like that one. It's a wide variety. The second part of my comment here is John 5. Do you know who John 5 is? Oh, my gosh.
Send me a playlist.
I will.
Let's go, Dave.
I will. I'm going to turn you on to some
she's
new
got
music.
a lot of time. She's traveling to California.
Yeah.
Sometime.
I need playlists.
Yeah. Yes. Well, John 5 is an amazing guitar player, and now I will send you some stuff because I love talking about John 5. He's one of my favorite guitarists, and the guy plays everything from bluegrass to he was Marilyn Manson's guitarist for a bit. He was Rob Zombie's guitarist, and now he's playing with Motley Crue. He's just this amazing guitarist. But he on one album, you could have like 5 different genres from this guy. So I guess what I'm getting at is, for artists, don't pigeonhole. I'm not talking about you specifically, but don't pigeonhole yourself into one thing. If it sounds good, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's a part of your expression and it's a sound that you carry that you really identify with and it just is resonating within you, record it, create it. And I agree, don't let anyone pigeonhole you.
Yeah. Well, did you have something else?
No, I was going to say,
okay.
As we wrap this up,
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Autumn Eve, you're on Facebook, Instagram,
Yes.
TikTok, all
Yes.
those other things.
I need to get on TikTok way more, but yes,
Okay.
I'm
No,
on
you don't.
all the
No, you
social
don't.
medias.
And the new single will be out whenever it's out. That's a
So
when
I
it's
will
when it's
say-
done.
what is done. What is done.
So hopefully the end of April, we will see.
Oh, that would be awesome.
How many tracks do you have planned for this album when it's finally completed?
I'm thinking probably around 8 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will see what happens.
Do
But
you-
yeah, one step at a time and
Okay, that kind of answers my next question, which was, do you have a timeline for completing all the songs?
I do not have a timeline. I wish I could say like, oh, I want them all released this year,
Sure.
but it's really just a lot of just walking through the dark, one step at a time. I can only see what's right in front of me and just being faithful with what I can to put these songs together.
Well, I see on Spotify that, you're getting quite a few listens and streams. And that's awesome for somebody that's new, that's trying to make the name and get your name out there. So that's awesome. Good for you.
Yes, I'm very grateful for everyone who's been listening and supporting. The feedback has been amazing. Only like 2 haters so far. Woohoo!
Hey, so
Everybody's got haters.
yeah, we're gonna play your other single, "Courageous." Just as we get into it, what's that song about? What can people expect?
Yeah, Courageous is really about mental health. It's about going through PTSD. It's about dealing with depression, anxiety, all of the above. So we really need the courage to continue on and to learn how to take care of ourselves and to learn how to get the right help for us. And yeah, it's just about reaching out to God when you're at your absolute lowest. And it's amazing what happens when we give ourselves permission to grieve and we give ourselves the acceptance that we need to be like, okay, yeah, I accept that this is where I'm at right now. It's not where I want to be, but this is where I'm at emotionally. And then boom, God shows up right there. So yeah, it's about meeting God in the darkest places and how he can take away the fear.
Awesome.
Amen to that.
All
So
right.
here is Autumn Eve on the Rock Salt MUZKAST Experience. Thank you very much for coming on today and sharing your music, your story, and all the other topics we talked about.
And come back. Let's dissect Creed. I'm serious.
Okay.
I think that's going to be a great conversation if you don't get offended by me hating Creed.
No, it's okay. No, it's so fun. That's so funny. And thank you so much for having me. And again, I'm so sorry. I thought it was 30 minutes past the time that we agreed upon. So
That's
thank you for
okay.
your
Well,
patience.
as I said,
Yeah.
I give one chance. So, happens again. I'm just going to have to. Hey, thanks, Autumn.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
So nice to talk with you guys today.
It was awesome talking to you as well. It's a Rock Salt MUZKAST Experience.